Okay. So what I'm gonna do is... We don't want to vault. Right. Made a bunch of steel. I need some iron. Need a lot. Let's see, are you just farming torches for EXP? Yep. They apparently scale with level, too. So, like... Torches are just insane EXP grinding. It's stupid. It's an auto-collecting bot. Yeah, I kind of wish that there were more boring droids. That weren't, like, very fast. Or couldn't move very far or weren't very flexible, but would handle the fish gathering for you or something like that. That'd be so nice. Because, yeah, I know there's a way to auto-collect it, but it's the freaking droids that are, like, endgame tech. Which is not fun. Like, please remember, I've played almost more of this game than most people have. Not everybody, but I've played, like, a stupid amount of this. I know almost every non-speedrun glitch trick in the game. I just refuse to use some of them sometimes, because I feel like it makes the game boring. Okay, do I do jewelry? Yes. I'll do jewelry first. Nope, I need rubies and emeralds. Well, that was pointless. We'll get them later. There's a certain point where gems start dropping from stuff you mine. But I don't remember where it is. It might be a pickaxe. It might be a tech or something. I know it doesn't happen normally. So, I'd love to know what the trigger is so I could actually try and speed for that in the future. This game has an interesting relationship with balance. It's super interesting. So, I've been watching a lot of people play this, because I have a lot of friends that kind of play games in the same genre as me. I mean, notably, a lot of the Stumps crew played this game, and I've definitely seen, like, Moose and Joe play it. And it is so interesting watching people play this that have never played it before, because their strategies are, as far as I'd be concerned, almost, like, hair-pullingly inefficient, which, like, I do understand, like, that's how people think of me, oftentimes, and, you know, okay, I respect that, but I'm not sitting there abusing them in chat. Sorry, bone to pick. But, so, you know, watching one of my friends play this, and them having no idea where mining rods are. It's mind-boggling. Like, how do you do that? How does a person not lose their mind over that sort of thing? I have no idea. And so it's really fun, watching somebody go through that, because, yeah, it's a completely different experience. And for them, it's very much balanced against them. But, like, if you notice me right now, I'm not trying to expand my islands out, because I know I can't manage that. I'll work on that when I get the opportunity to, but, like, right now it's more efficient that I use my gold to make lighthouses so I get ridiculous amounts of stuff. Also, my inventory's full, which is a bit of an inconvenience. Let's get this sewing station down. Let's just eat the oranges. I have, like, limited use for them anyway. Not sure if knowing where stuff is yet counts as a strategy. Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, frustratingly, swastikas are, like, the main way to level in this game, which is stupid, and I hate it. But yeah, knowing where stuff is means, like, I can immediately go for, you know, some of the more effective things. And so for, like, a lot of new players, this game is very slow, kind of punishing, and, you know, very uncooperative. And then you find, like, mining rods or lighthouses, and you figure out how to use them, and suddenly the game gets considerably easier. Almost to the point of absurdly easy if you know what you're doing. And then, yeah, if you put on challenges, it actually gets harder. I feel like I heard that very wrong. No. So, full disclosure, apparently the optimum leveling scheme for, like, a couple of my runs is straight up to make swastikas out of my skills here. If you notice, I've got this arm, and then this arm, and then this arm, and then I don't do shit down here, but it's like a 3-arm swastika, and I feel really embarrassed whenever I do it, because, like, that's not great. That's not the kind of thing that I want to have in my series, but hey! Anyway, I gotta go gathering so I get some extra inventory space. But yeah, it's super unfortunate, and I hate it, and there's not much I can immediately do about it, frustratingly. Because, yeah, I don't want to have a swastika on in any of my videos. I mean, I guess I did in, Scrap Mechanic. But that was not... Well, no, that probably was in poor taste, but it was kind of... Well, frustratingly, even in that game, in Scrap Mechanic, the reason why we had used swastikas was because it was actually a really balanced thing. It would corkscrew upwards in a very even way, so it was a very easy way to get up to the top of the skybox without having to worry about balancing your craft that well. And it's like, it sucks, because I'm not trying to put in Nazi symbolism for obvious reasons, because that's not okay. It just happened. And it's not good. And I don't want it to be a thing. I don't know. I don't have an easy solution to this. I also need some more sand. To think it used to be a positive image till the Nazis got to it. Yeah, it sucks. It's a symbol for luck. And then, yeah, they just decided to turn it into the symbol for a giant hate campaign against, I mean, pretty much, like, everybody that wasn't them, which is awful. Like, they could have at least had some originality and come up with something else. Shit, I think they even had, like, eagles for a while and stuff. They did flip it, though. I mean, that's like the person that stole my artwork and then added their own logo to it, or, like, flipped it, and it's like, see? Original content, do not steal! It's like, what are you doing? But yeah, they did have eagles, and it's annoying. Eagles are cool. I saw an eagle for the first time, like... Okay, no. I've seen eagles before, but never close up. I got to see an eagle at the Portland Zoo recently, and it was kind of cool. They don't actually... They have kind of a pleasant cry to them, which really was quite neat. Ow, that is actually kind of bright. It's getting dark in here. Oh, it is getting late. This is what happens when I play Forager. I end up playing it for the whole night. What was I working on? Right, I should go back to torches. I got distracted because I had let the resources stack up a little bit. That is a lot. But yeah, if you ever see me put up anything that's... I mean, honestly, just in general, if I ever say or do anything offensive, I'm trying very hard not to be. Which I feel kind of bad about, because, like, there's a billion things that people can get offended over. And, like, sometimes you can't please everybody, but I'm still trying very hard to do so, just because I know, like, yeah, some people's feelings can get hurt for, like, kind of basic things. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. We can make some more iron. And yeah, some people will get offended literally over anything at the drop of a hat. But most reasonable people, yeah, they might still have a couple of things that'll bother them. I've definitely talked about stuff that bothers me. And so, yeah, if it's a person that just gets offended for the sake of being offended, yeah, you can't help that much. But, like, there's a lot of people that are totally reasonable, but, like, you know, well, it's an easy example. I mean, slurs. I accidentally, like, what was it? Oh! Freaking, that's one. I don't actually... Well, this is kind of indefensible, and I should have known better when I was younger, but I really like the term Mongoloid. Realistically, it's kind of a slur term for Mongolians. But at the time, I didn't put two and two together. And so, like, yeah, I used it for a while to describe my boardish creations. If any of you guys have ever seen the horrors that I create... in any character creator I'm ever given, it's usually some kind of boardy nonsense. And if you've noticed, I've switched over to Bort as my term for these characters because that's much more holistic. But like for a while, I called them Mongoloids. And then somebody pointed out to me, and it's like, you realize that's like kind of really offensive, right? And I'm like, oh, damn, no, it didn't. Shoot. And so yeah, no, I don't try not to anymore because yeah, I don't want to be offensive to random people when I don't need to be. Like, yeah, obviously I'll call a bigot because a bigot is a bigot and should be called out for being a bigot because bigot is also kind of a fun word to say. But yeah, I don't want to actually say like horrible things about somebody in poor taste by accident. Holy shit, lighthouses are expensive. Let's give up on that for a little while until I get shovels. Which means I should probably go get shovels ASAP. Okay, shovels. Okay, I need more iron. Iron! Give me! Let's see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to be, like, all-inclusive. I'm not trying to be a safe space for everybody. But, like, I try to at least have it be, like, a reasonable space for everybody. I think that's really what it is. I was telling a story a while back. Well, a while back. Recently, actually. And it didn't take well. Like, the people I was telling it to, I don't think were that interested in the story, or maybe it bothered them a little bit. But, so I'm in Boy Scouts. Or, am in. I was in Boy Scouts for a while. And, god damn it. I know about the goddamn lighthouses. Why do people think it's worth just dropping by? Like, it's literally drive-by lighthousing at this point. I know about lighthouses! God, I'm so mad! It's like the most pointless thing to be mad about, but like, literally I just have a comment roll in being like, just unlock lighthouses and place them next to each other and they affect stacks, and it's like... Y'all need to sit down and watch for a while. Because, like, it's not appreciated. And, like, it just makes you look unobservant. And it makes me mad. Because, like, it's not just one person. It's like, how many people have actually asked about it today? I think it's nearly 10. Like, this, I'm not gonna lie. The amount of people that are just dropping by to just freaking parrot dangerously funny about the lighthouse trick is like, it's actually ruining my enjoyment of the game. Not necessarily because like they're saying anything immediately wrong, but it's just like, it's like, just sit back and watch before you just tell me shit. I don't know. There we go. I'm watching YouTube, it's like, why is a random person backseating? But here I'm in on the drama. It's just freaking annoying, because it's like... Imagine if you were doing your homework and somebody came over and started trying to teach you about how algebra works. Like, yeah, I already know how to do it. Algebra's easy shit. Like, it's no big secret that, like, 4 times 5 is 20, and that's, like, super low. 2x equals, you know, 3y, solve for x. Like, okay, that would probably be 2 and 3-ish. Well, 3 and then 2. I'm not good at just inventing algebra off the top of my head, because it's... I mean, yeah, that's how it would be, but I'm not going to be able to create good math problems for you. It's just infuriating, because it's not like... If I were doing, well, actually, for YouTube, effectively, every episode's worth, I get somebody coming by, unbidden to tell me about lighthouses. And it's just like, god damn it, I know. Like, it's not... I know. And then, yeah, when people tell me to calm down, it's like, I don't really want to. I'm actually quite frustrated about this, because it's like... I'm aware, and, like... It literally is, like, every 20 minutes. It is literally every 20 minutes. If not more, and it gets frustrating. Like, it's even people that, like, consistently watch me, too. And, like, y'all just show up without even, like, sitting around to watch or, like, listen or anything like that, and it's just like, lighthouses! And it's like... I don't have enough goddamn glass to make lighthouses because I just started this run. Like... What is the easy example? It's like telling somebody whose car's in the shop for repairs that if they had a car, they wouldn't have to take public transportation to work. It's like, yep, that's freaking obvious, but my car's in the shop and I can't get it out for a while. Have you just tried not being poor? Wasn't that like a big thing for a while? Dude, we should have a lighthouse command. I thought we could get rid of that for this. I legitimately thought, yeah, we could just get rid of the lighthouse command and it wouldn't be an issue. I can use lighthouses, but people are still coming by to tell me about lighthouses. I'm gonna have goddamn lighthouses out, and people are gonna tell me to use lighthouses. Like, there's no escaping. I literally, like, might There is a temptation for me to just never play this game again, just so I don't have to listen to people telling me about lighthouses. It's straight up the Master Sword thing again, where everybody had to come by to tell me about how to get the Master Sword, even though I freaking had the Master Sword in my hands. Like... use some brain power, or something. Because, like, it's actually, like, making me lose faith in people. Because I want to pretend that at least the internet has some level of intelligence. Or, like, attention span. Or, like, awareness. And, like, I realize most people probably are just trying to be helpful, and I totally understand that. But, like... yeah, I don't want to have to ban the word lighthouse, though, because, like... that's just... I mean, yeah, I should, but, like... that is the most ridiculous form of censorship, and I shouldn't have to do it, but I guess I will. Because, like, I don't know. I shouldn't have to be reminded about lighthouses every 20 minutes. I shouldn't have to be told while I'm swinging the Master Sword how to get the Master Sword. I shouldn't be asked every day, what are you gonna play Enter the Gungeon? But yeah, so, yeah, actually, Conductor, you wanna set it so, wait, actually, Conductor, do you have access to the blacklist? Because, yeah, if you could add it so only regs and up can talk about lighthouses. This is the stupidest shit. This is the stupidest thing. Why do I have to blacklist the goddamn word lighthouse so people stop bothering me about it? Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go add this to the blacklist so people stop. This is such a weird saga, and I hate it. Blacklist words and phrases. Options. Let's see. Okay, so that should work. There we go. Did that work? I think it did. I think it just zapped somebody for it. Well, there we go. But yeah, when you have to literally ban a word for a series to keep going, it is... I'm actually kind of speechless for this situation. Because, like, I don't want to get angry about this, and it is entirely meaningless that I am, but it's like... Candle on the water is now a banned word. You know what? At least if people start calling the thing a goddamn, you know, candle on the water, or a water torch, or a, you know, a Bodhi no Crashy. If you guys start calling it a freaking Bodhi no Crashy, like, that's fine, because it means that people have been paying attention and are in on the joke. The frustrating thing is when people aren't in on the joke, show up and just tell me about lighthouses, because that's when it's not funny. Yeah, for now, I think official degree is to call it some variation of Bodhi no Crashy. Because that's gonna make me giggle, and it's gonna feel a lot better. And if you guys refer to them as Bodhi no Crashies, that means you know my rage, or at least have heard me talk about it. And so, like, sure, I mean, it'll get to the point where it's a freaking wongle, but at least I can kind of live with that. Oh. Like, literally, this is the same reason why I had to ban the word scrap mechanic on my channel, and I've never taken it off the blacklist, I don't think. Maybe I have at this point, but, like, literally, yeah, Bright House, there's another one. Let's see, I didn't make it plural. Oh, maybe not. It might work if it's plural, we'll see. But, like, I've never taken scrap mechanic off my blacklist. For the most people have left me alone on it, but, like... For years, people were demanding that I go back to that game, without ever paying any attention to, like, why. I still get people asking me, like, why I don't play with my old friends anymore, even though I've addressed it in, like, quite a lot of videos in, like, different places and D&D and just everywhere. But, like... There's only so much I can ever do to, like, get the word out to people. And it sucks a bit. Like, quite honestly, I think part of the reason why I'm so, like, vehement about, this lighthouse thing is I'm actually a pretty big fan of, Dangerously Funny. Like, I like his stuff. He is actually a fun person. And I enjoy his content. And the people coming to my channel to spam about things, is actually making me resent him as a YouTube creator. If only because the fan base leakage is so powerful, it's actually painful. And I don't think I've ever been the subject of this before. Nor do I ever want to be the subject of this again. Because, like... It's not really fun. Because it's not like... It's not actually, like, even frustrating. It's just... inane? Do we have enough sand yet? Nope. Ah, damn. They're greedy suckers. I gotta remember to go for the digging spots, honestly. Let's see. Okay, well... We can make mining rods at the very least. I should get a couple of bridges. Because, yeah, we've actually got a stupid amount of wood sitting around. Let's see. There we go. I really am... I don't know why, but I really hate bridges in this game. They just don't look good after a while. I think it's... I just love how, like, nice and clean the ground looks in this game. Oh. Okay, I'm feeling better. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Right, Boy Scouts. There we go. Stories. Let's go back kind of hard. But so when I was in Boy Scouts, there were a bunch of kind of little shits. And normally, like, I try and kind of, like, understand people's, perspective, and not everybody wants to be in the Scouts and blah, blah, blah. But so when I was in the Scouts, I was like a Star Scout or a Life Scout, which is like, 1 or 2 ranks away from hitting the end. And more or less, like, I had a bunch of kids, more or less, under my jurisdiction that would just run around being awful. They would bully each other. They locked one of the other junior scouts in an elevator. They would break shit. The church that we were based out of actually was threatening to kick us out because some of these kids were that much of a nuisance. And, like, they really were not appreciating what these kids were doing. And none of the adults really cared that much. You did say they were a kid. I mean, middle schoolers should know better. This isn't Cub Scouts. This is like, full-on Boy Scouts. Like, yeah, okay, some of them might have been, like, 5th or 6th grade or something like that. But that's still old enough to know you don't break, like, a aged candelabra. Just because you thought it would be funny. Like, that's kind of the point where you say, like, these aren't just boys will be boysing. These are boys being a menace and then just, given a free pass because boys will be boys. Middle schoolers don't ever know better. I was a middle schooler and I knew not to break shit intentionally because for yuck yucks. And, like, I expected that everybody else kind of was the same way because, yeah, don't just wreck shit because it makes you laugh. And nobody felt like doing anything about it. Like, we were 1 infraction away from getting booted out. But this isn't some family Lifetime movie where everybody gets together, does something good for the community, and everybody, laughs it off like, haha, haha, you lovable scam. No, these were kids acting with some level of, like, base malice because they knew they could get away with it, and no one felt like stopping them, which, like, yeah, that's the point where you a good adult would step in and say, like, yeah, don't break shit. But no, they just, I don't even know if the adults in question, like the parents in question, paid for anything, or if they just, like, if they more or less just, like, wash their hand of it. It's like, well, it's not my responsibility, and just let them keep doing it. So I got sick of it, and more or less, I started, like, cracking down a little bit, following them around and yelling at them when they were doing stuff, which actually did work to some degree. They didn't act nearly as badly when they had an audience that was disapproving of their actions, which was nice because it means I didn't have to do much more. But so after that point, a lot of them started getting, well, the other thing that was becoming a problem was, like, they never showed up on time. Now, scout meetings were only about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, give or take. And a lot of them would show up, like, half an hour late and then demand to be let in on the activities, or, like, everybody start over from the beginning, or go over everything that I missed. Imagine if, like, you had one student always show up 15 minutes late for class and demand the teacher start over from square one. Like, after a while, you kind of grow to resent that kid, especially if there are multiple ones that would come in at different times. And, like, one after another. God damn it, it's the Lighthouse situation all over again. I'm cursed for this. But, like, the adults in my troop were, I'm gonna say, pushovers. Maybe a little bit too much. I think my dad was the scoutmaster at the time, and I think he was trying to do stuff, but my dad, he's a good dude. He stands up for himself sometimes, but I don't think he ever stood up for himself particularly well, especially with this troop. This is the troop where, like, the previous scoutmaster and then the following scoutmaster was a guy that had literally gotten people killed on a mountain before, and nobody thought to say, yeah, you probably shouldn't be the one organizing these trips. But, hey, what do you know? He was, and that was stupid. Anyway, so my dad didn't really, like, call this guy out. He more or less was just like, this is ridiculous. And maybe he did, but behind closed doors. But I never saw, like, anybody say straight up, like, no to anyone else. It was all just kind of like, yeah, whatever, it'll be fine. It's just like, no, it won't. You know, this is, like, really dragging everything down. And, like, these kids are straight up bullying people in the troop, and no one's stopping them apart from, like, light admonitions. And so my genius solution, which actually worked out really well, was push-ups, interestingly enough. Whenever anybody was late, I would stop the meeting wherever we were and say, all right, 1 push-up for every minute you're late. You show up 2-3 minutes late, that's 2-3 push-ups, that's nothing. Show up half an hour late, that's 30 push-ups, and I'd let them take a break, it didn't matter. But they would have to do push-ups. And these aren't, like, weak kids. These aren't, yeah, we can talk about the Scoutmaster that got people killed. I can talk about that in a bit. But these are fit middle schoolers that, like, reasonably are on sports teams and stuff. Could probably do 30 push-ups. I was the fat kid and I could do 30 push-ups. Admittedly, like, I was the fat kid that had an interest in weightlifting. But, like, these were kids that were considerably lighter than me and fitter than me. They could probably do, you know, 2 sets of 15, no problem. And so, yeah, I'd stop the meeting and say, give me 30. Give me 45 once. One kid was 45 minutes late, and he walked in like he owned the place and was like, you know, hey, what are we doing? Can you catch me in from the start? And, like, I realized that this seems like a really mild thing, but, like, their attitude and their behavior was so consistently just, like, I'm not gonna say disrespectful, but, like, it was. It was very much like, I don't care about anybody else but me in this situation, and I'm gonna disrupt everything until I get my way. So I just flipped it on them and more or less refused to do anything until they did push-ups. A lot of people would just do it, and some kids actually thought it was kind of fun. It's like, okay, I'm 3 minutes late, 3 push-ups, that's it. This one kid showed up, though. And by the way, in the sake of fairness, I would do the push-ups with them. So I ended up doing nearly 200 push-ups sometimes, which, like, that point I couldn't do anything for the rest of the day. But you know what? At least most people didn't argue back. This kid, though, he was not okay with it. His dad apparently had picked him up late, or I don't even know what his excuse was, but he was always late to every meeting. And somehow, like, they would walk in 40, 60 minutes late, and then this kid would disappear for the entire meeting, and then complain about how nobody was helping him through his badges or, like, his scout work or anything like that.